Hello again, everyone. Today I wanted to go through my new setup of my Galen leather folio. And you will notice that I have essentially a desk mat here on my desk. And this is really just here until I get a Galen leather desk mat that I have on order. This I'd been using for a long time and it's kind of scuffed up. But I have been working a lot on my desk and I kind of wanted to leave this here, and I figured, it's fine as a background for now, but it will be changing pretty soon. All right, so let's get to the main event. So this I have shown on the channel before with a different setup, and it was set up essentially for journaling, and I just really wasn't using it when I had it set up that way. So, and I wanted to use this more day to day. And as you can see, there is some patina, some stains on here. Part of the reason why there's a little bit of an ink stain on here, you'll find out soon here. And I just really wanted to be a little bit less precious with this and figure if it gets stained or, gets stuff on it, that's kind of the life that it is going to be leading. So I am just gonna run with that for 2021. So let's go ahead and get in here. So this is the nude color or natural leather color. So here we go. Make sure you can see everything. So essentially what I have done is I have turned this into my fountain pen, I don't know, swatch book is the right word for it, but essentially my testing notebook for fountain pens. Actually, I have a couple here right now, which I'll show you here in a minute, and some other stuff related to fountain pens, so I kind of have it all in one place. I do still have some pencil cases and that sort of thing filled with a little bit of fountain pen stuff, but this is where, like, when I go to actually test pens, these are the things that I would need. And some things that I don't necessarily need that I have here. So there are, I've been keeping receipts for fountain pens that are maybe vintage or something sort of a special edition that I might want to keep the receipt for. So I've kept the receipts. I have some manuals for some of the pens here, so in case I ever need to get that out when I am testing them. Some business cards for some fountain pen related companies. Same with stickers here. So that's basically what's in all of these card slots here. And back in this slot back here. I did end up taking out the little slip pen holder that is normally in here. I actually have moved it to another pen case. Here, I will show you. This is a pen case that I purchased from Jackson's Art Supply, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I mean, first off, it's fabric, but it's kind of a durable fabric, so it's not too bad. But there's nothing all that special about it. But it's the perfect size for holding the pen holder that came in this. And you'll see that there is a new fountain pen here. I actually, there is going to be a Bennu video coming up soon where I actually talk about this one and another Bennu that I purchased recently. I've kind of gone Bennu crazy. But it holds this in this little zipper pouch, so it just slides down in there pretty well. Part of the reason why I'm not too sure this setup will be one I'll keep is, so it has this little magnetic thing on the front here. I have the Carapo pens here, but it also has some pockets that are underutilized back here in the back with this in here, because essentially this is taking up this whole area. So we'll see what I end up doing with that, but it is kind of the perfect size for that little pen holder. And so I have a few pens in there. I've taken it out of here just because it was a little too bulky with everything else in here. Plus I realized I didn't really want to dedicate any fountain pens to this setup. So that's why you have this. So onto the paper. This is a Nimacine notebook. This is a made in Japan notebook. It's in an A5 and this is a grid style. So I am actively looking for a new paper to call my sort of standard fountain pen paper that is my favorite fountain pen paper. The new Tomoe River paper is not that. So I am trying to find something new. I do have an older Tomoe River notebook back here, and this is the notebook that I have been using on the channel to test pens, and I have tested the hell out of this notebook. I mean, I'm to the point where I have some blank pages at the end, but I want to preserve this paper because it's not readily available anymore. I mean, you can still get the old Tomoe River paper, but sometimes when you buy products, I don't know, not everyone says what you'll be getting, the old or the new. And, you know, I would hate to order some thinking it's the old and then just get more of the new, which I don't think I'm going to be using just on a regular basis once I'm done with the paper that I'm currently using. So this is one of the notebooks that I wanted to try out. I actually have this, and then I also have a Rhodia notepad. I figured once I'm done with this, I'll probably put the Rhodia notepad in here, and we'll see how I feel about it. So far, I've done a little bit of testing already on this paper, and I think it's good for some pens, but not necessarily others. And I think it sort of suffers the same problems as the new Tomoe River paper, which in my opinion is that it's not as good with thicker nibbed pens. Like fine and below, and sometimes even medium, works pretty well on the new Tomoe River paper, but especially since I've been gravitating more towards fatter nibs, like, you know, larger mediums and broads and double broads and all of that, it's not going to really be the ideal paper for me, because I really want a paper that is going to be good with any thickness of pen. And the old Tomoe River paper was that. It was definitely good with any size nib, any material nib. I've noticed that sometimes some nibs with a particular coating on them don't work as well. One pen that has not worked very well on the new Tomoe River paper is my Memento Zero, from Leonardo, which is really kind of a shame because it's a fantastic nib and is super smooth on the old Tomoe River paper, and the new paper, it just drags. I have heard that if you try to have a really light touch with your pens, it will write more like the old Tomoe River paper. I have tried that. Maybe I just haven't found the sweet spot. It improves it a little bit, but it still is not, it's not ideal. So this paper I actually find is a little bit better than the new Tomoe River paper, this Nemesine paper, but it's kind of expensive, and it's actually more expensive than the Tomoe River paper was. So I'm not sure it's a really good replacement. I actually purchased a paper sampler from Jet Pens recently that's all fountain pen friendly, and I do plan to test all those papers on the channel. So I just kind of have to get set up and sort them out because they all come in a pad, and there's a few sheets of each different paper. So I just kind of wanted to take one sheet of each paper and line them up and do a variety of different pens. I also have to decide which pens I want to do for that, because I do want to get a true variety. Like I want to get broad nibs, steel nibs, gold nibs, fine nibs, etc. So I want to get enough of a variety of materials and coatings so that I can truly see which paper might be good for me. And that's from a particular manufacturer I've now forgotten, but like I said, I'm going to do a future video on that. But it's only from one manufacturer, and some of the papers in the pad apparently are no longer available. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. If I end up liking one of the papers that is no longer available, that's going to be really sad. But we'll see. So this Nemesine paper, I do like the paper somewhat. But again, with the broader nibs, it doesn't work as well as it does with the finer nibs. So I think that's all I wanted to show you about this setup. I think that I have some blotter paper back here. I currently only have B6 slim size blotter paper, but I probably need to get some A5 size, just because I seem to be going through that, the blotter paper in the A5 size. So, and I think the blotter paper that I had in A5 size, the reason why I ran out of it so fast too is that I cut it up for smaller notebooks. So, and it's kind of hard to cut, by the way. I found that scissors are probably the way to go, because if you try to do it with a sliding paper cutter, it just kind of tears the paper up. So if you're ever looking to cut down blotter paper, note that. Oh, and I should talk a little bit about what's here before I go. So I have a couple of, what do you call these? I keep wanting to say injectors, but these vials for filling fountain pens. The tips, so they're not blunt like this. They have little tips, but I have the tips in a little bag here. So there's just tips, and they just screw into these. And I've already used them a couple of times for filling cartridges and that sort of thing. So that's here. And then I also have just a little eyedropper, or whatever you want to call that, pipette here. And then I have a cleaning cloth from Esterbrook so that I can polish up pens and that sort of thing. So it's a little bit maintenance, but it's also a little bit, what do I think I'm going to need when I am testing out pens? So this is working pretty well. And I actually have a couple of these syringes. That's what they are. I have that problem where sometimes I'll forget the names of everyday average stuff. So the syringes, I do have a few more in another tool pouch that I used there. It's kind of nice to have them all over the place so that if I need them, I can at least find one of them. So there you go. I don't have anything on this little key ring. I might end up taking this out, but for right now, I'm just leaving this in here because I don't really want to lose track of it. But so far, this setup is one that I have used more than any other with this particular leather good. And I think it's probably going to stay this way for a while unless things don't end up working out. But I am totally expecting to have a few more ink accidents. I think this was just, you can see a little bit of ink smear here. I think that was really just because I had ink on my hands and then I picked up the notebook, which happens all the time. So it's probably going to happen again. But that's all I had for you today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. I hope to see you there next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.